1,000 people. I have written and shared their stories with our community, their triumphs and failures, their near escapes and tragic losses. I do all of this without any preparation. Yes, I worked at CNN, wrote for the Columbia Daily Spectator, and earned a master's degree from Columbia Journalism School before I ever filed a single TV news report. But every day in local news is a fresh challenge, a journey into the unknown. We show up to work not knowing where we will go or who we will meet. This uncertainty poses some logistical challenges, a reporter version of Murphy's Law. Wearing new shoes? You'll be assigned to cover a flood. Have concert tickets with friends for 7 p.m.? Practically a guarantee you'll have a 6 p.m. live shot across the state. Think you got an easy assignment in a beautiful Jersey Shore town? Sure, until someone tries to run you down with their SUV when you're covering their parish priest accused of embezzling millions. And yes, that all actually happened. The story I am assigned after our morning meeting may be changed 3 times before noon. We could drive 100 miles in the live truck for an interview, only to be diverted to breaking news as soon as we arrive. At least now we have GPS to prevent us from getting lost. When I started reporting in 2000, we kept a milk carton full of map books in the live truck, and I navigated while the photographer drove. Find the right county book. Look up the town in the index. Find the street name. Go to page 16, grids C4. Map reading truly is a lost art. All that effort was before we emerged from the live truck to start gathering interviews. We could knock on dozens of doors without getting a single person to talk. We could knock on one door and get screamed at before they slammed it in our faces. And yet, every day we went live from somewhere, broadcasting to our community, talking to our neighbors about what happened that day. A frequent and fair criticism of local news that I've heard since I was a student at Columbia is that we don't do enough follow-up. We descend upon a news event, collect our information, broadcast our reports, and then move on to the next story. Every assignment ends with a cliffhanger, and we never get to watch the next episode. Part of this is the business model of local news. Reporters gather interviews, report, and write as many as 3 stories for broadcast every day. But part of this also feels like self-preservation. With all our exposure to chaos and sadness, the healthier option may be to not linger. We dip our toes in the pool of your grief, but never jump in for fear of drowning. Just because the news cycle has moved on and we are chasing another story, it doesn't necessarily mean the relationship between the reporter and subject ends. My first mentor in news, Gary Tuckman, a national correspondent for CNN, told me recently that he will come across a name in his address book and reach out years, even decades, after their stories have aired. People who lost loved ones in the 1995 Oklahoma City bombing or on TWA Flight 800. I call them to check in, see how they're doing, Gary explained. I want them to know that I care and that they meant more to me than just a soundbite on the news. Speaking with other friends and colleagues, it's clear that many of us want to stay connected with people featured in our news stories long after the headlines have updated. Unlike my work conducted through texting, emails, and Zoom, short face-to-face encounters with strangers can have outsized impact. Many of us who interact with the public share this sensation of feeling like we intimately know someone soon after meeting them. Police officers who are humbled by a particular 911 call, nurses who never forget a patient, a military officer who remembers the children from the town where she served, a minister who counseled a couple and wonders if they stayed together, a store clerk who recalls an elderly customer, a social worker who is curious about what happened to that child he helped after she went back to her parents. Since the first day I started reporting for News Channel 34 in Binghamton, New York, I have questioned my role and responsibility for telling other people's stories. I appear during traumatic times in their lives with no special training. I cannot offer medical advice or spiritual guidance. I cannot help them heal their pain, and I can neither arrest nor prosecute the person responsible. I do not deliver.